Buongiorno di giorno. Before we begin, I just want to ask you a question. Do you live in a house? If you don't live in a house, I'm so sorry because we're going to talk about architecture. I don't know about you, but I love architecture. I love when a building looks nice, where I'm like, whoa, that building looks actually pretty good. I'm gonna take a picture, and I take a picture, and then I walk my day thinking, whoa, that building looks really good. So I just, like to take pictures of pretty buildings. Don't judge me. I just love doing that. However, today we're gonna talk about why architecture looks pretty to us. Why do we like good architecture? And why does our houses look like our neighbors? Like, that's so annoying. Like, I want my house to look unique and it just looks basic, the pastel colors, the roof that looks like everybody else, and then the house I can just, this is the same house of my neighbor. Like, literally my best friend has the same house as I do. Don't worry, I know where the bathroom is. You know what I mean? We humans have an inherent desire to biophilia. Whoa, before we begin, you're like, what is that supposed to mean? Biophilia? Am I attracted to nature in a way? Like sexually attracted to nature? No, don't worry. Biophilia just means that you're attracted to nature in a pleasant way. For example, when you feel like, oh my God, I feel so overwhelmed with work and whatever, and then you go outside and you're like, you feel a lot better, it's because you're in nature. You're seeing birds, you're seeing the tree, you're seeing the grass and all that stuff, and you're like, whoa, I actually feel a lot better. It's because we humans have biophilia. We feel drawn to nature. There are specific things in nature that makes us feel happy. And as architects, people feel like, hey, why should we just do that but with buildings? Let's make buildings attractive the same way that we feel attracted to nature. And that it's the word biophilia. Now, concepts like solar punk make us feel that sense of biophilia. When you see cyberpunk pictures or images, you're like, whoa, that actually looks pretty good. I would love to live in that future, definitely. And today we're going to talk about different facts of what makes a specific building biophilic, or biophilia in a way. Fractals, what does it mean? Structures that show on multiple levels. That is a specific pattern or a specific thing that it shows in a copy and paste sort of. You know what I mean? The origami stuff or the stuff that we see on the smaller scale that looks like a flower, looks like all this stuff, but in a pattern-ish way. Symmetry. Who doesn't like symmetry? I mean, we like people who have a symmetric face. It's just pretty to see, like, I can look to the left, I can look to the right, and just both look the same. It is very pretty. Asymmetrical stuff, I don't know about that. It just looks ugly. Ornament. Ornament. I'm gonna keep saying it until I get it right.
Ornament.
This object or pattern that reflects nature, like plants, lions, or even humans. Organized complexity. Too simple is boring. Too chaotic can be anxious. But a well-detailed building can make us feel pleasure, seeing how well complex an object looks. For example, our lives. Okay, this is a pretty good example of how our lives look. We don't like too simple. Like, it's kind of boring, too simple. We don't like too complex because then we get a little bit anxious on our lives. But enough of adventure, enough of safety, having the best of both worlds, that is absolutely amazing. Who doesn't like the best of a well-balanced life? That's beautiful. And why not have that in a building? Curves like spiral or are pleasant to the eye. Like, they're just pretty. Like spirals that we see in columns of the Romans. Like, that is a good example of things. Nature, a combination of human-made with plant and added balance that brings not only joy to our vision, but peace. Who doesn't like a house who has trees and this idea of like an open roof where a tree can breathe? That nature, we like seeing birds, especially. They have this ability where our windows are just open to nature to come to our house. We don't like chaos in our house, but we like enough. Like, it feels pleasant to see trees and garden within the kitchen or our living room. We just like that. It's pretty. It's just pretty. With that being said, we said all the factors, what makes a house, a building, an architecture so beautiful. Now let's talk about what makes it dull. Like, what happened exactly? And that is one simple word: minimalism. Imagine this, 21st century, more specifically 1920 to 1930. sort of like World War One, let's say, the aftermath of World War One. There's a philosophy going around that is saying less is more philosophy, where this idea that less can feel clarity, and we don't need all this fancy, all this stuff. We just need the enough type of mentality. That is where people decided, hey, we can probably have houses like that. It wasn't until the mid 20th century that people decided, well, we can widespread this idea of less is more. And now we have houses that are more dull, more minimalistic idea of like, we have a door, we have a window, we have a roof. I think that's enough. But that type of mentality became out of survival mentality. It didn't came out of creativity. And that's where we see houses where it is enough. Now there's some benefits of having a good, well-designed architecture. For example, it reduces stress, it increases productivity and focus, it enhances mood and positivity, improves sleep quality, senses of security and comfort, social connection, sense of purpose and belonging, stimulating creativity and mindfulness. All this stuff are just beautiful for mental health. Like, we need well-designed architecture. If we don't, it just becomes dull, repetitive. Like, you don't feel special in a unique way. It's kind of boring to like walk around and see that everyone has the same house, the same color, the same car, and there's no uniqueness, there's no authenticity. I don't know if I said it right, but there's not a special, this is me, this is who I am. And we need creative architects that make beautiful houses. And I understand why people don't want create complicated houses. Like, every house has to be special in a unique way, because costs, and it costs money, of course, and we are not in a very good economy to have that. But we need it because it is good for our mental health. And I just think it is important for us to have that building design for all of us. Like, we need art. We need a physical form of art. We need to express our form, not only with houses, but other stuff. We just need that. But with that being said, this is my conclusion. I think that despite all that stuff, I just like seeing pretty houses, and I just want a good excuse to talk about houses. Yeah, I just wasted your time listening to this video. If you did, thank you. I am very grateful. Yeah, yeah. There's no conclusion. That's it. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you.